Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining me for this Thursday edition of Off-Road Hub. My name is Ken and I have been doing a solid axle 1-ton axle swap on my 2010 Toyota FJ Cruiser. I am deep in the midst of working on the front full hydro steering. It's been quite a process, a long process, and rather than breaking that up into two videos, I want to keep that all into one, so I'm kind of doing multiple videos at one time. And so for today, I'm not going to focus on that. You'll see that in a future video. Today, I'm going to be taking care of some smaller miscellaneous things that still need to get done. So for those of you who have been following along, you know that I got my axles out of a junkyard. My rear Sterling 10.5 axle came out of a 1999 F350, and so I've had to, redo the whole axle. It's been re-geared and everything. It's got a Yukon Grizzly locker and new 538 Yukon gears. So the insides of that are all rebuilt, but I haven't dealt with these hubs yet. These need to be redone. I'm going to put new bearings in. These, I don't know how many miles are on these, how much they've been abused, how old they are. They don't look bad, but I'm going to replace them anyways because I don't know anything about them, and it would just be a bummer for that to be a problem right off the bat. And these aren't hub assembly bearings, so you actually have bearings and races that you've got to replace that go inside these hubs. See, here's a race right here on this side, and on this side you've got a race. So these old races have to come out so that the new races and bearings can go in, because the bearings and races are a matched set. So there you can see a new race and an old race, and then the empty hubs where the races seat on the back and on the front. So now I get to drive in the new races. Now it's really nice to have the correct tools to do this. I have this bearing and race driver here. It goes on this handle. Get this bolt out of here, just like that. And the way that works is that your race just fits right over the driver, and so you've got a nice, perfectly square way to pound it into the hub without damaging the race. And they come in different sizes, of course. This is a bigger one for the inside race. They come in all kinds of different sizes. So that's what the race looks like. Nice and cleanly installed. You pound on it until you get a different sound, and you know it's fully seated in there. So with the races and the bearings in place, it's time to put on the rear seal, just like that. And again, I'm going to use the same driver that I used for the races for the seal. And I know you can just kind of pound a seal in on the side, but you run a really high risk of damaging it. And with these seals in particular, these ones are crazy. These seals are like $50 a piece. So that's not something I want to mess up by trying to pound it in just with a hammer. So yeah, you just need to pound these in as straight as possible because you really, really, really don't want to mess those up. And I know somebody will be curious, so this is the set of drivers that I'm using. It's a Lyle set right there. So go pick that up if you plan on doing any bearings. And this is actually a Mayhew race driver. This one's kind of long, but you can see on an actual race driver, the end of the punch is kind of a different shape than just a regular old punch, but a regular old punch will work as well. So when I got this axle and I pulled the hubs off, this part stayed on the axle, and I have for a little while been trying to decide whether that was part of the axle or part of the old hub seal that just stuck to the axle. And yeah, that's what it is. So it's really stuck on there. I got the other side off. Let me show you how I did it. I'm using a slide hammer with a little hook on it. It's pretty handy. So before I put the hubs back on the spindles, I've lubed them up with some 75 140 gear oil. And I'm just going to lube up the backs of these seals so they slide onto the axle housing nicely. So these Sterling axles have something kind of unique. They have these ratcheting lock nuts for the their wheel bearings. They're keyed, and of course there's a corresponding keyway on the spindle of the axle. So, and also the driver's side and the passenger side, they thread on differently. The driver's side is lefty-tighty, and the passenger side is righty-tighty. And you need a special socket like this to tighten them down. This is a KD Tools KD 3195, in case you're wondering. And these get torqued down to 60 foot-pounds. And since I'm using new bearings, I torque them to 60 and then release them and loosen them 5 clicks. And the clicks are really obvious with these crazy lock nuts. All right, so now that it's torqued to 60 foot-pounds, I just need to back it off 5 clicks. So hopefully I can hear 5 fairly distinct clicks here. If I were using old bearings, I'd be loosening it up 7 clicks. Let's see here. That didn't start out very well, so I kind of lost track of where I was at. Let's try that again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'll go with that. Same thing on the other side, except righty-loosey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I think that's great. It'll probably be fine. So pretty much everybody, myself included, always looks under the vehicle and says, hey, look at the axle. Well, actually, these are the axles. The Sterling 10.5 comes with these 35 splined axles, super strong. I looked to see if anyone makes chromoly axles for the Sterling 10.5, and they don't. And I guess because they don't have to, because these are strong enough as it is. So these are also full float axles, meaning that the bearings don't ride anywhere on the axle. They just slide in and bolt up. The axles themselves don't actually touch the bearings, so they're actually really easy to put in and take out. All right, this side's all together, and I would put this side in, but there's a gasket that goes back here on the back of this flange, and nobody in town has one. Apparently, a 1999 Ford F-350 was a really rare vehicle, so it's hard to get these gaskets back here. So I'll get my brakes put back together. I said I was probably gonna get new rotors, but I've decided that these ones are fine. They've got a little bit of surface rust on them. They don't look brand new, but they're actually really good still. And new rotors are over $100 a piece. So I can live with just a little bit of surface rust. All right, got the brakes back together, and I know that these calipers, you can interchange sides, and the way you know it's right is that the bleeder is up. If it's down here, it wouldn't be very good at getting all the air out. So the passenger side is done as well, except this axle's not in there because I need to pick up that gasket. I'll pick that up tomorrow and throw that axle in there. I was a little bit worried for a second about this caliper, how close it is to the coilover, but it cleared. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna have to wrap this one up here. Like I said, I'm in the middle of doing the full hydraulics in the front, and I wanna put that all in one video rather than breaking that up. So that's why that isn't in this video today, but we'll get to that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you on Monday.